Captain Underpants is directed by someone. Captain Underpants, and I am not saying the rest of the title because it is not true, is directed by David Soren and written by Nicholas Stoller. It stars the voice talents of Ed Helms, Nick Kroll, Kevin Hart, Jordan Peele, among others. This film is about George and Harold, two overly imaginative best friends who are pranksters at their school, and they dream a lot and they draw comic books together. One of them draws, another one tells the stories, and one day they decide to hypnotize the dean of their school because this man is truly evil and he wants to separate them and put them in different classes, and basically they only have each other. This hypnotism somehow works and they turn the dean into their favorite superhero, the superhero they created, Captain Underpants. And that's all I'll say because the trailer did only show that, even though some other stuff happens, and I was not excited for this film. Honestly, the animation didn't look great. In fact, if you go and search for the trailers on YouTube, it only is on the DreamWorks television channel, not the DreamWorks animation channel. That is not good. I was dumbfounded when I discovered that this was actually a book series for kids. I had never heard of it. Honestly, this type of plot, this type of story, a kid's book? And the animation is not bad, but it's not great either. For cinematic animation, it is actually pretty underwhelming. This is actually just a tad notch above television animation, and you can do great things nowadays with television animation. They really went for the Peanuts movie vibe with this animation. And in the Peanuts movie, it actually worked because it had some charm to it, because they were trying to recreate in a new way the animation of the classic cartoons. In here, it's just a matter of, oh, okay, I see what you did there because it worked before. Nice. It looks pretty, but the backgrounds are just too dull. They really don't pop out that much. The characters are well designed, their movements are dynamic, are vibrant, but again, the backgrounds are just there. They are there. They're doing nothing to create for visual storytelling, and in animation, let's say it, it's pretty darn easy to create visual storytelling. Our two main characters have their charm, and you like them because they are two very imaginative kids, and I think every one of us can relate to that on some level, and you can feel for their struggle, but apart from that, they do some pretty reckless in this film, not caring for anyone around them, despite this film being set on a real world. And for at least the first half of the movie, they break the fourth wall and talk to you, the audience, but then they just forget it as soon as the movie really gets going, once the hypnotism is actually happening, and they have control over the dean, and he's Captain Underpants, he's doing some pretty reckless stuff himself, and they have to control him, kind of. But again, these two kids are very, very irresponsible, and they really don't learn any lessons. There's actually some funny dialogue that I would have loved to eavesdrop on some kids talking to their parents. There's actually a scene where the dean, as the dean, is talking to the cafeteria lady at the school, and these two characters are looking on and listening to the conversation, and they think that the dean and the cafeteria lady like each other. And one of them says, "Oh my god, they like each other." "No, it's not just that, George. They like each other." Like? What is that? Well, you don't know because after marriage, like actually ends. So you don't have your parents actually liking each other. And I didn't think that was a very good line to include in this film. I barely laughed in this movie. The times I laughed were probably 3 or 4 times, and when I laughed, I did laugh a lot. When I laughed, those were actually pretty damn good jokes. For instance, the one I told you about is kind of very good, but in 90 minutes, I laughed 3 or 4 times. There's a subplot included in this movie that really felt out of place because until the point where the subplot and this new character were introduced, this film was set in the real world. And whatever magical or superhero-y thing you saw happening was because these kids have an overly eccentric imagination. And when the dean gets turned into Captain Underpants, he doesn't actually gain superpowers. He believes he does, but he really doesn't. But the movie really goes over the top in a drastic fashion when it introduces some let's say, supernatural and impossible things to happen, and it really seemed like a whole different movie, like someone had come and put the imaginative stuff into the real world. There are portions of the movie where the kids are talking about the comic books they have written and drawn, and I was like, I would have liked to see movies about those stories and not this one that I am watching right now. Also, there seems to be no adults in this film besides the teachers who are there to be very bad versions of teachers, and the dean and any adult at the school. Besides that, no adults in this film. And look, I am not the guy who complains a lot about poop and fart jokes, but when that is the basis, when that is the pillars of the structure of your whole film, it kind of gets tiresome. When a new character gets introduced, just like I talked previously, it really comes across like lazy because they just force these poop and fart jokes in your face. And it's not a good family movie. Will kids enjoy this? Will kids enjoy this film? Yes. They will laugh a lot because they like poops and farts and they don't mind that that is the structure of the film. As I said, I like my poop and fart jokes, but I don't want it to be the very structure of the film. The movie sure is colorful and fast-paced, but I feel nothing for the characters. I feel nothing for the nonsensical world. The setup is blatant and obvious and lazy, and you can really see where this movie is going about 20 minutes in. And I said that it was a good kids movie for them to have fun, but it's actually a kids movie that has really no messages and no lessons to be learned, and that's not exactly a problem by nature, but at least it would be a reason for me to one day maybe, okay, I got nothing new to give to my kids, so maybe I can put him watching this. Adults will probably not enjoy this film apart from being happy that their kids are happy watching this. Captain Underpants is unfortunately very lame and very underwhelming in every conceivable way you can imagine. The characters are not great, the story is very bad, that is one action sequence in this entire movie. It's grand, but it's the very climax, and again, there's nothing to take away from this film, and throughout, Captain Underpants makes you feel like Clark Gable. What did you think of Captain Underpants, my beautiful geekies? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Did you read the books when you were a kid? I didn't even know these existed. Let me know in the comments below, and as you go down there, check the description to go and join the Beautiful Geeky Community Facebook group. The link is in there. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the freaking best. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. We are almost at 900 subscribers. I can't wait to get there and celebrate with you guys. Tomorrow, Geek Classic returns to prepare us for Wonder Woman. I will complete my DCEU reviews with Man of Steel. And so until then, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so we can be geeky united!